Ah, didn't even see you there. Well, now that I've got your attention, me and my friend Krusty would like to talk about allocative efficiency, productive efficiency, and price discrimination. Now, when we're talking about these three things, we're going to focus on productive and allocative efficiency first. Now, we see these most often in the all-in-one graph, illustrated up here, and we use that graph for all non-perfect competition. So MC industry, monopolistic competition, oligopolies, monopolies, everything except perfect competition you can use this graph for. Now, the first thing that we're going to do on this graph is we're going to label the marginal revenue line, which goes down like this with quite a steep slope. And on a different line next to it, we have demand AR line, which stands for average revenue. The line that you will see on most graphs involving firms and companies is the AC line, which is a bowl that comes across. It's average costs, which is fixed cost plus variable costs. And the final line we're going to draw is marginal cost, which you will again see on lots of graphs involving firms and companies. Basically, the thing that we need to remember here is that the MC marginal cost will always intersect the AC average costs at the lowest possible point. Always. And that's convenient because that is also where we find productive efficiency on the circle there. Only there is a company being productively efficient. And to find our allocative efficiency, we need to go up to where the demand crosses the marginal cost line, which is somewhere up here, where they intersect. That is allocative efficiency, and this is productive efficiency. And those two will always be there on the all-in-one graph. You can't go wrong with that. Today is price discrimination. Now, if you want the educational and IB definition of it, price discrimination exists when sales of identical goods or services are transacted at different prices from the same provider. Basically, what this means is a company is selling the same product to different customers at different prices. First degree of price discrimination is when price varies by willingness or ability to pay of the customer. Now, this arises from the fact that the value of goods is always subjective. A customer with a low price elasticity for a product won't be as deterred as a customer who has high price elasticity for the product, because if you have a low elasticity, you're only going to pay so much or so little, whereas if you have a high, and you will end up paying a lot more, you're willing to go to more extremes. The second degree of price discrimination is when price varies according to the quantity sold. Now, large quantities are always available at a lower unit price. That's a fact of business. If you bulk buy, you're more likely to get a discount or a lower price. This affects smaller companies in any industry, because if you're a smaller company and you cannot afford to buy large quantities, you're not going to get as much discounts as, say, the richer companies who can afford to. The third degree of price discrimination is when price varies by a lot of other factors. These can include the location of the customer class, the customer identity, or even the customer willingness to pay. The most common example in the world is student or senior discounts that you find at the movies or at the zoo, where you can visit Krusty. And you can either get a discount if you're above a certain age or below a certain age. And it's those kind of things that we see the third degree of price discrimination. Also, if your business is in a far out location, say the Yak Islands in the Pacific, you're going to be charged more to get a product. So that about wraps up price discrimination and productive and allocative efficiency. Pretty simple, I have to say. Krusty seems to think so too, and we'll see you soon.